Hey, what's JackitK? I realized I forgot a few things, so I wanted to make a footnote. And some new things came out just at the beginning of this week after I did the stream, so I figured I'd include those in this footnote as well. The main thing I wanted to add that I forgot is in regard to raid bosses. I was mistaken, they did actually change with the release of Regirock. So here's a list of what's in and what's out. Absol and Tyranitar are still in Tier 4, along with Alolan Marrowak. Rhydon, I believe, is the new addition, and whatever was in Rhydon's place is now gone. So, Tier 4 consists of Rhydon, Tyranitar, Absol, and Alolan Marrowak. Tier 3 consists of Machamp, Tangela, Piloswine, Donphan, and Alolan Raichu. Tier 2 consists of Krylia, Mawile, Roselia, and Alolan Exeggutor. And Tier 1 consists of Magikarp, Makuhita, Meditite, and Wailmer. And, if you can't tell, there's currently a Johto theme event going on in Pokemon Go, which apparently also means Tauros, because Tauros is totally a Johto Pokemon and not a Kanto. And part of this is in regards to a new special research that came out in regards to Celbi. I go more into this in the actual podcast, but I want to let you guys know that since I did the stream, this event has gone live. And along with that, there's some new field research you can get as well, including a bunch of field research in regards to catching sun currents for evolution items, as well as this particular one where you evolve 3 sun currents or 9 for a Pineco. And the reason we care about Pineco is because now they're shiny. Along with Sunkern and Noctu apparently can be shiny as well. But I'll talk more about that the next time I stream the next episode, which should be this upcoming Saturday. So I hope to see you guys on Twitch for that. Until then, here's the actual Fireside chat stream. Hello from the other side for you too. Hello to the chat is mine. Now can I tell you, this song is a bunch of rust in my head. So sorry for tearing your earbuds apart. Alright, I guess this is as good as we're gonna get. So, greeting interwebs, this is JackitK, and welcome to the Pokemon Go Fireside Chat. I'm gonna turn the game volume down a bit because it's gonna be just me and you guys talking about our week in the world of Pokemon Go. But before I get into more personal stories, I suppose we could go over some headlines that have been going on lately. Starting off with, we got a little bit of news, mostly just things wrapping up, and some things that may not affect you directly in the game, but does have a place in the game as a whole. For one, in case you didn't notice, Registeel is gone, and its replaced is the good old Regirock. By good old, it's more emphasis on old than good. But I can't really complain because I still gotta get my own. And we got a lot of events up the Wazoo going on. And before I go into the ones that are Pokemon Go theme, I want to take a moment to talk about some that I think people have overlooked, because they aren't exactly Pokemon Go events, but real world events sponsored by Niantic. First and foremost, on September 15th, Indianapolis Heart Walk organization is going. This is what I get for not taking notes, because Indianapolis Heart Walk is the name of the event. Specifically, Indianapolis Heart Walk Play Ball. They're going to be raising money to fight heart disease and stroke, and Niantic is sponsoring the donation drive. And it's focused on collecting new balls for local children as well. So if you're in the area, that'd be a nice walk to go in. Indianapolis, Indiana, I believe, is the area. So if you're in Indianapolis, it might be something worth checking out. Now, unfortunately, the event page is a little weird and doesn't let me see the whole description on the Niantic site. So all I can really tell you from here is they have a goal to raise $8,600,000, and they're getting about halfway there. They're already at over 4,200,000. That's good on them. In addition, there's another event that isn't exactly Pokemon Go related, but Niantic is sponsoring, so it might be worth going to walk and bringing your game just for the experience. And that is Via Cali SJ. Pretty much a walking event in San Jose. So if you're going to be in that area, that might be worth checking out as well. The reason I want to talk about these, even though they're not Pokemon Go related, is one, they are sponsored by Niantic, and I feel like even though they are Pokemon related, some people overlook them when talking about it. Two, there is an event that kind of follows a similar format where it wasn't exactly a Pokemon Go event, but still sponsored by Niantic. And that was Philly Phil Street. It's something they've been doing yearly, even before the game came out, but Pokemon Go decided to announce, like, hey, we're going to be sponsoring this event. If you want in, go walk and have fun. And I've heard a lot of people in the Pokemon Go community that went there actually had more fun with that event than some of the actual Pokemon Go sponsored, they're all sponsored, but this is Pokemon Go directly, like having special spots and all that. But this area actually did work out with no extra spawns, but still such as great of a deal. With that out of the way, I guess we can cover the next significant thing worth talking, and that is all the community day announcements that have finally come through. Actually, since you guys are just seeing the screen anyways, give me 1 second. I think I can make some arrangements so you can actually look at the news with me. I just gotta pause the stream for a sec, because I don't know exactly how this is gonna pull up, and I don't want to accidentally pull up the wrong thing. Here we go. Since I had the volume mute anyways, I might as well actually show you guys what I'm looking at. This is basically on the Pokemon Go's website itself. Like, they have their own blog, and all this is under the events. So I guess before I move on to the other events, I almost overlooked probably one of the bigger events that are going to be coming up soon, and that would be the Pokemon Go Safari Zone event in Yosa, Japan. Essentially, this is going to work very similarly to the Safari Zone event that was up in Europe, as part of the 3-part event for Pokemon Go's Summer Bash. Trying to see if there's anything I'm overlooking. I guess there's going to be Pokemon there that you don't normally get to see, including the grass flying type Tropius, which I believe is normally a regional, unknowns, which are just rare in general, and there aren't going to be any raids involved, but that's part of the core for Safari Zones at this point. And it's a free event. Granted, unless you're already in the area in Japan, you might have some difficulties getting there, and you're not going to be completely out if you can't go, because there's going to be a worldwide things going on too, similar to the Europe Safari Zone and Pokemon Go Fest. Trainers outside the area can take part too, doing field research to unlock special rewards that will come into play for a week after the event. I believe that this set of events unlock Stardust-based rewards. And I almost forgot about the best part about all of this. Just like how with the Europe event, Roselia was released with a new shiny, or the shiny in general, and Pulse Minimum had their shiny release for Pokemon Go Fest, there's going to be a new shiny released to the world during this event as well. And it's the shiny form of one of my favorite burbs, Wingull. I am definitely looking forward to getting myself a shiny Wingull. Just love the little burb. And even if it's just a green Wingull, which is probably not as great as the original blue, I'll still want to get one or two or as many as I can. And yeah, I wanted to double check the time frame. Yeah, it starts off Wednesday, August 29th, and lasts until Sunday, September 2nd. So I'll be going into, it's at the end of this month, and going into the next one slightly. Oh, I forgot the fact that it was spread between 3 different parks, but a little detail that's not exactly that bad that I missed out on. As for other news that's been going on in the area, one, the special trading event has ended. I'm sure not too many people are going to be crying over it, but I kind of do wish I was able to do more trading during the event. Because extra candies for rare Pokemon, or Pokemon that I just want candies for, like routes, was nice, and I never really got a chance to do a special trade during this time frame. Granted, we've had a month, so it's not too bad, but it's something. Next thing I wanted to talk about is in regards to Community Day. One thing, it was pretty hype with all of the stuff they had going on for Community Day, or just all the Pokemon Go Fest stuff going on. But we did have an unfortunate thing of not really getting too much notice on Community Days like we normally do. Normally they have anywhere from 2 to 3 days in advance up on their event page, and they only just reveal the Pokemon one at a time. With EV Community Day finally over with, we had no idea what was coming up next for Community Day, or more importantly, when. But that's changing. As said by Niantic, now with the Whirlwind of Pokemon Go Summer Tour ending soon, we're excited to announce the next few Community Days. Yeah, we're not just getting the date of one, we're getting the date of 3 of them. The closest one's coming up on Saturday, September 22nd. October's Community Day will be on Sunday, October 21st. And November's will be on Saturday, November 10th. Like always, though, we're only going to get 1 month of details on the Pokemon at a time. So what we got for September's Community Day? It's a starter, and probably one of the. I'm not gonna say the worst starter, but I'm definitely feeling like it gets the least love and the least hype in general. Because I think Chicory is adorable. It's definitely a cute Pokemon, just one you never really use. And now that we're going into Gen 2, that's on one hand pretty sweet that we're actually going to be in Gen 2. But on the other hand, we all, unless they really want to do something to spice up, we already know what the move's going to be for the starters, because we already went for one set of starters. Bulbasaur got Frenzy Plant, Charizard got Blast Burn, and Squirtle got Hydro Cannon. And considering the lore of Pokemon, it feels like a really safe bet to say that Chikorita and his family is going to get Frenzy Plant as a special move for Community Day. Which no one is going to care about because we've already had Bulbasaur, who will already use Frenzy Plant better than Chikorita's evolved form ever could. So I'm thinking that we're going to need something a little extra to really keep the hype going for this Community Day. But if you're excited for Chikorita, all the power to you. It does seem a little less common than Bulbasaur to just randomly find in the wild, and shiny hunting's always fun, at least for me personally. The fact that we always get a shiny form during Community Day alone is enough to actually get me out and going for Community Day, but I know that's not going to be enough to get every single person going. Oh yeah, they did also reveal that for Chikorita's Community Day, they're giving us the basic ×3 experience for every Pokemon you catch, which isn't anything new because we've had it before, but could be useful for those of you that are trying to make that grind to the final level. Honestly, I do have some experience to go before reaching level 40 myself, so if I'm not up there by Community Day, I do admit that it'll be a good time to make some strides towards Community Day. But it's September 22nd, that's going to be after the Japanese event, which, following the pattern that they had, is going to have a raid train. Having Bulbasaur, or Europe's Safari Zone, had a special bonus for if everyone completed their field research goals. And with that, we got a raid train of Articunos. For Pokemon Go Fest, we got a raid train of Zapdos. I wonder what the reward is going to be for us all completing the special research task in regards to the Japanese Safari Zone. It's totally going to be APOM. That's right, folks. Brace yourself for APOM raid trade. You heard it here first. Alright. I'm just going to go over this real quick so we can get on to the meat that you're probably waiting for. Good news to those of you who have children with Pokemon Go accounts. There's a new login system in play for your kids. It is called Niantic Kids. Yay! Sarcasm aside, basically this is a mode that allows parents to register with Niantic Kids to protect their child's privacy via the parent portal. You can review and approve your child's permissions before they can play. Ideally, this may allow children to actually be able to trade, because with the current laws in play, children are not allowed to actually see sponsored gyms and stops. And they're not allowed to have a friends list, if I'm understanding. I'll admit I don't have first-hand experience, but I believe I've heard these things from other people who do podcasts on Pokemon Go and have children. The experience has been developed in conjunction with Super Awesome Kids web service, a service certified by the ESRB, privacy certified, and by the Kids Safe Seal. So have peace of mind. Your children are safe from the predators of the internet. Even though the real world is out there and may have other things in store for you. Joking aside, though, I got one more news story for y'all. And this is probably the big one. The headline on the update is Track the mythical Pokemon Celbi in new special research. I wonder what that means for us. That's right, though. August 20th, which, oh my god, I just realized that's tomorrow. We're gonna get a new set of special research. And we can get good old Celbi from it. Yay! I know that sounded very similar to my sarcastic yay, but that was a legitimate yay. I have a hard time expressing excitement. I'm just mellow like that. So, it sounds like it's going to work out very similarly to the Mew quest, where you take on various tasks, and you get rewards along the way to up your quest to having your own Celbi. And rest assured, if you haven't completed your Mew quest yet, you can begin as long as you've done the third group of tasks related to Mew. So once you get up to Mission 3 in Mew, you can swap between Mew and Celbi whenever you want and take them on at your own pace. For those of you who have already gotten Celbi from Gold Fest, you lucky dogs, you're not completely out of luck. Instead of getting a Celbi, you will get a boatload of Celbi candy to power up your Celbi. For those who don't know, Celbi is the mythic Pokemon from Generation 2. It is essentially the Mew equivalent for this generation. Though it may not have to be exactly as exciting as Mew, because it can't learn every single move in the game, and doesn't have as wide a variety of a moveset in Go. But I've heard in the Gen 2 days that being relevant in certain Pokemon meta, so maybe it has more potential to be useful in Pokemon Go than Mew did. Just me being optimistic, though. And you love Johto? You love Celbi? Well, Niantic's got good news for you. When Celbi is released, you'll be getting a new Celbi t-shirt available for free. Plus, you can buy clothing items from the Pokemon games Heart Gold and Soul Silver for your avatar. Yay for spending money on clothes! Oh. Well, that said, though, Celbi itself is the big deal out of all that, so can't complain. People at GoFest had some time to join their exclusive Celbi, and now the rest of the world's gonna get their shot at it. And with that out of the way, I think we can finally move on to personal experiences. Just give me 1 minute, couple minutes of intermission, and when we come back, I'll be ready to discuss some Pokemon Go experiences I've had during the week. See you all in a bit. Hey y'all, I am back. Don't mind me, I had to just get some water so I can avoid some of the repeat mistakes I've made the last time I tried to record this. I mean, we got sound, so that's already one extra thing that I've improved from before. Now, where do I even start with my experiences? I felt like I've done it before, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I guess I can just start by pulling up the clips that I've taken for the week. and going through them one by one. First and foremost, pretty much shortly after the last podcast, I got that shiny Eevee I was raising up to snuff and ready for evolution. I just want to turn up the sound in case I have anything to say about the process. Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't record. I usually play this game without sound, so sorry for no evolution music. Yeah, in hindsight, it's not that bad. Hindsight for sure. Espeon definitely looked pretty cool. But I definitely like Shiny Umbreon more, and I was really torn about evolving the better of my two shiny Eevees between Espeon and Umbreon, because, yeah, Espeon is definitely more useful in this game, but Umbreon, it's not like I'm really going to be using either one of them. Umbreon is just the one key to my personal success. Now, what I'm trying to pull up here is I think on later on in the week, I already forget when, I saw a Raichu raid and decided to take it on. Now, I have solo Raichus before, but usually I have a couple legendary Pokemon up my sleeve, like a Shadow Ball Mewtwo, which pretty much as long as Mewtwo gets a super effective charge move against a Pokemon, it is your best option. It's just that good. And Groudons. However, if you couldn't tell for this personal challenge, this raid, I made a personal challenge by doing battles, or doing a solo raid challenge without legendary Pokemon. And to be cheeky about it, I decided to use my Perfect IV Sandslash. Not sure if you can tell, but that didn't go well. See if I can scroll exactly how well I did. I mean, I got close. Like, close enough to the point where, like, oh, I could definitely do this if I just adjust my team a little bit. And this could have been a fine attempt, but there was two things I overlooked. One, that one Tyranitar. Oh yeah, I guess I was trying to get rid of that one Tyranitar, because there was a double rock, not double dark moves. However, it seemed like I had every other option I wanted, so every time I picked a Pokemon to replace that Tyranitar, it just got thrown somewhere else in my party. And that's totally not going to screw me over. And speaking of things not going to screw me over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds of lag. Yeah, that really screwed me out. And I'm not sure if you saw the brief second I had me trying to go back into the gym, but there wasn't much time left on this raid. Like, you're going to see my salt later on that I don't get another chance after this, even though if I just powered up some Pokemon and didn't have Tyranitar, I could totally solo this guy, no problem. Now, do I at least say something? Yeah, not too salty. Don't worry, though. We have a plenty time for salt at the end of this. Getting it down to the final few seconds. It's going to be close, but it looks like I'll do just fine. I just have to get enough for an earthquake, and that should take out that tiny chunk of red. No problem. Got it. Pull off the earthquake. Health goes down all the way to 0. You see for a couple seconds.
No. No. Timer was right there.
Yeah, the timer there had 4 seconds left on the clock, even though it said time was up. And even before the time was up message came up, maybe the health wasn't completely gone, but you could tell that the damage was taken away. It was just taking a second to load the fact that it was at 0. That was a pretty salty time. And I guess I put this screenshot up there because it's showing my fact that my Tyranids have been showing up everywhere from that raid going forward, and it may or may not be related to me just spamming Stardust on them. Probably not, because I'm pretty sure like that Tyranitar was showing up for the Raichu raid that I didn't want. What was this? Oh yeah, this was from Friday. Essentially, how my situation works is I drive an hour away from work. So the areas that I normally would go to walk in Pokemon Go are a little bit out of access unless I take extra time out of it. So what I sometimes do for my after work walk, instead of just trying to walk around home, is I go to this college that's up. Now I wouldn't say next to where I work, but a decent detour away from where I work. And this is an amazing Pokemon Go spot, like probably the best Pokemon Go spot in the general area that I'm around on an average week. So I did this Roselia raid there just to burn a raid pass, and I did notice that there was an Alolan Marrowak. However, it was in an area that was a bit out of the way and away from all other stops and gyms. And just it was at the welcome sign for the college, so it was pretty much out of the way, and like, while you could walk there, why would you want to go there? Now, the thing is, I don't have Marowak for my Pokedex yet. So I decided just to go up there for the heck of it. I walked up there, no one was there, I wasn't surprised. And I figured I'd just walk a little bit for the heck of it, just stand around and just see if I got lucky enough to run into some people to help me out with it. Even though I was already under the assumption that would never happen. But, lo and behold, don't worry, I'm not gonna bother with the suspense. Yeah, that gym, I actually found people to do the Alolan Marrowak raid with. And there wasn't too much time to work around with, so every single second we did was valuable. Spoiler alerts, our first attempt didn't go too well, because not to push the blame away from my teammates, but I think overall we could have had a better selection of Pokemon to go into the raid with. As you may be able to see in the background there, it seems fine enough. Tyranids are a good choice. Whether they be the Rock set or the Dark set, it's still super effective damage against Marowak either way, and strong to go with. In fact, even though Kyogre isn't bad because it's super effective damage, I might have been better putting a Tyranitar in place of the Kyogre. But, that's not too bad, especially considering some of the things you might have seen in the background, like that guy. Is that a Slack King? Slack King is there? Really, dude? And as you can see, we got close, but it wasn't quite close enough. Like, you can see here for yourself, we got into the red, like maybe in centimeter left on the health bar before time ran out. So if we can just optimize our team a little bit more, then we totally could take care of it and get it done. Now, for some reason, for me, that just involves powering up my guys. And what I want to show is right before we went into the raid, it went from cloudy to rain. And considering I didn't change my team around at all, that was freaking perfect. Like, I didn't realize that they were already in the gym. So I didn't really have time to switch around my Pokemon at all. So it actually was a good thing I kept my Kyogre in there, because the water boost from that Kyogre alone, along with our teammates, hopefully bring more things in, and like that Gyarados getting boosted by the weather as well, we had enough of an edge to actually take this thing out. Yeah, it wasn't a perfect setup, but at least in this situation, I give them the benefit of the doubt, saying like, oh, there's no way to know that was the Fire Blast Tyranitar and not a Dark using Tyranitar. And as you may be able to see by how we're doing with this health though, we were totally able to do it this time. And after like a couple balls, that probably was the first one. This one, I'm gonna get this darn thing though. And I think the funny story about it is, shortly after catching this Marrowak, I started spinning some stops, and I got a rare candy quest where you had to beat a level 3 or higher. Of course, I get that after I do this raid and get the Marrowak, but I have a Marrowak now, an Alolan Marrowak, and it's in the top percentile with perfect attack, so it's pretty darn good for my first Marrowak. Alolan Marrowak, that is. I think the last story I have to share, though, is in regards to Saturday. Saturday, I had myself a good old fine EX raid. So this is the EX raid, right? Like, why would I be... No, this is... My bad, this is a different raid. I was gonna say, why am I bringing Machamps into an EX raid? I think the one thing I want to bring up about it, though, was... surprisingly, it was a small EX raid. Normally, with these raids, like, we get anywhere from 20 to 30 people showing up. This wasn't a private group. This was basically everyone who was here to do the raid. And while it's plenty to take out a Mewtwo, it's pretty surprising that on a Saturday afternoon, we didn't have more people at this raid. I'm not sure if what it could be. Are people getting tired of Mewtwo? Tired of no one being able to show up because most of the previous EX raids were in the middle of the week where people wouldn't be able to show up to work, so they may not have even been able to do the raid. I don't know, because I haven't been to an EX raid for at least a couple months myself for that exact reason. The fact they always had them in the middle of the week. And as I've said before, my work is about an hour away, a little less away from this particular EX race spot, but still at the point where, unless I leave early, there's no way I can make a raid before 6 o'clock. And I think like 6 is the very latest an EX raid invite could even go out, so it was rough, man. I'm just happy that I was finally able to do one. And as you may be able to tell, I did actually get that Mewtwo. It wasn't anything great, at least compared to the Mewtwo's I've gotten in the past, but a Mewtwo's a Mewtwo, man. It's still pretty darn good. Just probably nothing I'm going to put candy into because I already have a couple Mewtwo's that are even better. For example, I think Florida Wonderland is my best Mewtwo currently. It's really strong, but it has perfect attack, which is exactly what you need for a Mewtwo. I think this guy might be my best overall IV. Unfortunately, I don't have the IV checker handy, so I don't know for sure. It's at least not my worst Mewtwo. So I got that going for me too. And do I want to talk about that raid? I don't really know if I do, because it's just a raid that I was trying to do with the local group, because I do not have that Regirock yet. And it's a little bit in a more local area, so we don't exactly have the best team comp in comparison to the areas I would normally do EX raids and community day in. Let me just skip to our second attempt, because that one is at least not as pathetic, I would think. Actually got a chance to help some of the people set up their teams. Like, I know Lugia is not something you normally want to use as a water substitute, but I swear it's the best that some of my teammates actually had, just because they don't play the game as much as I do and didn't get every single legendary Pokemon that came around, just because we're in a rural area that requires more people. Or I guess it would require more people if they don't get to play as much, but stuff that requires a large amount of people to take care of isn't actually something we actually get to pull off too often. We don't get to pull off legendary raids in general too often, because normally we only get like 4 or 5 people for a raid. And I could have sworn that we could have done this, and maybe if we weren't trying to rush because some people had to leave early, we would have been able to take it out. Because we got really close, honestly. And this was a water boosted Regirock. I thought we'd be fine until I noticed that it was water boosted. And that's when I got concerned, and that was probably what screwed us over the most. Just the unfortunate timing of that. Sure, it definitely looks like we could have used better Pokemon in general, but I think for some of the people that I was playing with, that was the best they had out going for them. But Regirock will be around for a while. There'll be other opportunities when it's not water boosted. And even if I don't get around this area, there's still the area that I walk for community day, as well as that college I brought up earlier, where I know we would have the people to take care of this Regirock, no problem. So I guess this is note of anything that Ultra Friendship alone doesn't necessarily guarantee you a victory in every sort of battle. Team comp, or good team builds in general, is way more important. I'll admit, like, even I could have had a better team going into this, but I was pretty much just rushing to get into the battle, just to assure that I didn't keep my fellow teammates late for events they had outside of the game. And that's all I really... Is there anything else I really gotta say about that? Yeah, I think next time we'll actually be able to plan in advance. We won't be jumping right in, so I'll actually have a chance to actually check out what everyone's sending out and tell them not to use... Make sure that they're actually using water and grass types. I did get a chance to tell them that Machamps and Kyogres were the things that you want to use. Only to have the response of, we don't have Kyogres. Yeah, some of the people in my group did not get that legendary. And that's the thing that makes what I would consider hometown raids so much more of an accomplishment over raids anywhere else that I would play this game at. Well, before I end things off, let me just scroll through my collection of Pokemon real fast, make sure I'm not forgetting about anything. That did remind me that one thing I wanted to talk... One of my regrets with the trading event was the fact that I wasn't able to do more trades, because I'm reaching a point where I almost got everything in my Pokedex, and just regional exclusivity is what's really holding me up. Yeah, I guess I could use a little bit of box cleanup in that. And I did get that Raikou from field research. I've been pretty prominent doing at least one task every day, so I am getting the most Raikou I could possibly get. And doesn't got... I don't know if it's better than the Raikous I already have powered up, so I'm not sure if it's really even worth holding on to. Now, all these sparkly things are from the EV Community Day, which I talked about last week. I guess I could take a moment to just showcase my Pokedex so far. Hopefully that didn't pick up on the mic. Yeah, as you can see, for Kanto, all I need still is Kangaskhan and Mr. Mime. One you can only get in Australia, and the other you can only get in Europe, so I am probably out of luck at those, unless I'm lucky enough to find someone to trade with. Johto gets a little more complicated, but I think I got most of them. I'm missing Unknown, which is so stupid rare, is so rare, I pretty much consider it event exclusive, even though technically you can find it in the wild. Heracross and Corsola, which I could probably trade for one of those, but I'm holding off to it because I actually do get Florida plans. Not soon, but in the foreseeable future. And Florida is south enough to actually find those. And Pokemon 235, which is Smargle, a Pokemon that has not been released into the game yet. And Pokemon 251, Celbi, which, as I talked about in the news, people are going to get their hands on pretty soon. Hoenn, we got the Nakata family here, which hasn't been released in the game. We got 313, which, oh yeah, 313 is Volbeat. That's a Pokemon that is exclusive to the opposite side of the world that I'm currently in. So, unless I find someone to trade with, that's not going to happen. Then there's Torkoal, which is regional to a pretty specific area, unless you want to go fast, you lucky souls. Pokemon 352, which, oh man, I'm drawing a blank on what Pokemon 352 is. I'm pretty sure it's a Pokemon that I don't have yet. I'm pretty sure it's not one that's been released into the game, I mean. Because let's see, 377 is Regirock, which I'm still feeling a little salty about, not willing to talk. Tropius, which is another regional exclusive. 366 to 368, I know aren't in the game, and there's Relicanth. What is 352? Sorry, I am gonna Google this because otherwise it's gonna bother me. Because I have pretty much my stats on everything else memorized. But as you can see, I have a good chunk of the Pokedex completed. Oh yeah, 352 is Kellyon, which is a Pokemon, as I thought, hasn't been released into the game yet. So minus regionals and Regirock, and unknown technically, I have everything in the game. So the struggle is going to be trying to find a way to get those regionals. And I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about, it's a little disappointing because on the stream, my last attempt of it, I actually did this live, and it was fun to actually watch my little shiny Eevee grow up. But that section had no sound, so it didn't work out. At least I can clip that particular scene and just show as a highlight on Twitch. But here he is in all his glory. Shiny blue Umbreon. You hear that beautiful cry? Yeah, and it's mine. This Umbreon is all mine. What else can I even think about to talk about? I think that's really it, though. So, do I end things off here? I noticed we got some people who joined the Twitch chat, so if you got any questions or comments or stories of your own, feel free to speak up now before I end off the talk. Yeah, I specifically hold on to field research just to kill time like this, because in case you can't tell, the area that I live at is a Pokemon Go dead zone. Like, nothing ever spawns here. I have to pretty much drive. I have to drive to actually get to spots and gyms. There's nothing within walking distance around here. Oh, and that was the last thing I had stock up in field research. So I can't even stall for time like that. I think that's it, though. And we're about at the same time as the last one, even though I was trying to condense it down. Either way, though, thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoy what you see, or just want to see more mobile game streams coming in the future, feel free to follow me on Twitch. Should be a button right on the screen there. This will be going up on YouTube later on, so if you prefer to watch this on that site, keep your eyes open for that about, like, we'll say Tuesday. And I'm working on getting the audio version as well, so you can actually listen to this on your favorite podcasting site. I don't have anything set up at the moment, but I do have Podbean, so maybe I'll have set up there. I just encourage you all to follow me on Twitter at JackitStuff. Spelled the same way I spell JackitK, but instead of the K, there's some extra stuff at the end. Thank you all for tuning in again, and I hope to see you all for the next one. Take care. Can we talk about how weird it is that this game doesn't consider it nighttime until 9 o'clock? Even though it gets dark in real life way before then, even with it not being winter yet.